Another question that I got over the internet from a photo gal 1966, she wanted me to ask, what would each of you do, what would your next move be if by chance you were to leave Styx?
I hadn't considered it. I mean, no. I mean, obviously my solo career I'd have to resume, and but that still is ongoing anyway, to a certain degree. So I would just put my focus probably back there, but I don't know. I mean, likely that, or become the full-time cartoon character that I always dreamed of being.
I think I'd be a sheet metal worker.
Do you ever give any thought to that, or is
Holy shit.
And now, is everybody committed to being in Styx as long as it continues to exist?
Yeah, I mean, I think this band can play for as long as it wants to, and we never take for granted that there's always an audience of people wanting to pay money to come see the band. That's a great position to be in. But I mean, I'm sure at some point, especially being that I'm a few years their junior, I'll be I'll be looking for something to do as I get on in years. But I mean, all I ever wanted to be was a working musician. I mean, I could win the Powerball, and I would still schlep my drums into a hot, sweaty club, to play an hour set. That's why I'm on this planet.
We all know the future's impossible to predict, really, and as long as we keep coming off stage and looking at each other with the same elation in our eyes, and that as long as that feeling perpetuates, we're going to stay doing this. And the moment that begins to wane, things will change, and I don't know when that'll be, if ever.
And I am honing my skills of avoiding the unforeseeable.
Well, that's fair enough. Okay. Now, how do you keep it interesting and fresh from a musician's perspective when you're playing many of the same songs 100 times a year or more for what's it been, 10 straight years or more?
Well, for one, I actually I have a little section in the DVD called "Keeping Things Fresh," and one of the notions mentally is, even if it's a very hot night or you're feeling a little under the weather, you got the sniffles or something like that, I realize that there's people in the audience who've never seen the band before. There's people who've never seen me play drums before. And that right there is all I need to think about for one split second, and I'm firing on all cylinders. People come out to spend their hard-earned money to escape whatever is going on in their lives for a few hours, and we provide entertainment for them, and that's a very powerful thing. So no matter how I might be feeling physically or mentally before I take the stage, once you take the stage, boom, it's all there, and I never have to dig down deep.
This is a time-honored question.
Right.
How do you keep it fresh? And that is, it happens differently for me every single night on stage. You connect with it in a whole different atmosphere. You're in the moment, and you have to make it make as much sense and be as relevant to that moment as you possibly can. And that's how it's accomplished, really. You're not really thinking about the fact that I played this song last night as well, But that's a question that you're often asked, and it's hard to give a completely definitive answer to that, other than to say, the song is born again every single time you play it. Not born again like it got born again, but it's born again.
Right. Okay. Now,
some people might hear it that way.
Along those same lines, with that much togetherness and travel and being really in each other's faces as much as you are, how do you keep from just killing each other?
Well, we are good at navigating our own little space and reading each other's signals. We've become very adept at that. Haven't we, Todd? Shut up! That hurts. That hurts not physically, but emotionally. It hurts my heart. It hurts. Yeah.
Because, in that environment, I would think a little thing could turn into a big thing.
It could. If for a band that's only been around for, say, 4 or 5 years, yes, that's why they break up.
Yeah.
But No, we don't let things fester. Do we, Uncle Fester?
Now, what kind of habits do any of the band members have that just annoy the other band members? Like, what would you more likely argue about on the bus on a long trip if you were just annoyed with one another?
Oh, Larry whittles a lot, and the sound of his wood tools making his little Appalachian like farming men guys, it kind of drives me nuts.
Yes. When they get the splinters in their eyes, they all start complaining like a bunch of little wusses.
Do you really whittle?
No, I while away the hours.
No, I just lie in my bunk waiting for death's sweet release.
And I'm happy to oblige anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lawrence, there's a thing online where Tommy points out that you have a penchant for maybe not wearing trousers backstage. What is the deal with that?
That gives me my space. That's how I mark my territory.
One of the ways in which you claim your personal space.
Yeah, well, he can clear a room, and then he's going, oh, finally.
Listen, I played hockey for a number of years. If you're not comfortable with yourself, get comfortable. No, you know something? It's bloody hot, a lot of these shows, and I want to cool off backstage. So I find, that seems to work just as well now as it did in the caveman days.
He'll normally find another band's dressing room to do that in.
That's often the case. And that keeps a steady rotation of bands for us to work with.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
I'm sorry.
So, Todd, you're working on a new record with Taylor now, is that right?
Yes, we're sort of in the home stretch. We just have vocals to do and a couple more songs, and then it'll be mix down time.
Very good. Now, is it going to be similar or different from the first record?
It's hard to really see to kind of conceptualize it because we've been working on a couple songs at a time. I think it might be a slightly more, and not to give it a negative connotation, adult-sounding record, or a little bit more mature, and perhaps a touch more on the subdued side. But I think the collection of songs that we have really works well together, and Taylor's just singing fantastically on it, and it's kind of exciting to see things materialize. We're just right now kind of putting the finishing touches on some of the songs that have vocals, and there's still a few more that are on deck waiting for the full treatment that are still kind of charcoal sketches. But I hope to have it out by the end of October, and this has been a much quicker process than the 2.5 years the Lullaby CD took, due to our crazy touring schedules at the time and the fact that we moved from Los Angeles to Austin in the middle of the project.
Right.
But, I'm very excited to see this materialize now.
Now, is this going to be another thing that you release it through Aquapulse, or
yes.
Is there still so Aquapulse is an ongoing thing?
Yeah, I mean, I really have no interest in getting in bed with anyone else but myself and my wife on any level, including business. So I was quite thrilled with how that came about, and this way we have no one telling us what to do for a second. We make all the decisions, and we live and die by them.